Hey everyone, Regal Reviews here. It is Wednesday, which means it's time for my Once Upon a Time recap. So to recap on tonight's episode, Gothel and this girl, I wasn't sure who she was at first, but apparently Gothel has a sister back in the, well, whatever realm she's in. They spy on this, I thought it looked like a family at first, but apparently it's a bunch of friends that I guess are preparing for a ball. And Gothel walks in and starts touching the dresses. I guess she's never seen like ball gowns before, so she's fascinated by it. And she uses magic because when she touches the dress, this rose appears. It actually made the dress look pretty. And the girls are all fascinated by the fact Gothel has magic, and they want her to teach them magic. And we see in Hyperion Heights that Gothel apparently has the power to hypnotize people because she goes to the police station, presumably to see Weaver or Rogers, probably, Rogers. And she actually goes to Officer Bryce and convinces him to help her wake up her sisters, not the sisters being sisters of the Coven. We saw last week how Henry told Jacinda that he's Lucy's father, but Jacinda doesn't believe this. I mean, I wouldn't believe it either after what went on with Nick. You probably would think that this might be a fake or something. And Henry says that, from the moment that he entered Hyperion Heights, he's been in love with Jacinda. It's been love at first sight. And that made me think, what exactly is the difference between true love and love at first sight? We never heard love at sight. I think the 7 seasons of the show, we've never heard of love at first sight. So hopefully the writers can explain it, or maybe some of the fans can explain it. Comment down below. Henry then shows Jacinda part of the glass slipper that was, I'm going to assume it's the part that was in his tires. Rogers then has Drew in for questioning, and he says that Samdi is definitely not one to mess with, saying that he killed Nick with magic. And at first Rogers didn't believe this at first, but Drew points out, Rogers says that magic's impossible, but Drew also brings up the fact that it's also impossible the way Nick died, how he was stabbed from the inside out. We see in the, I'm going to just say the Enchanted Forest, it's not implied what realm it's in, but Gothel is apparently a tree nymph. So that made me think, oh, is she maybe Mother Nature? It turns out she is Mother Nature. She lives with these other tree nymphs, and Gothel's mother is Mother Nature, and one day she'll pass down the gift of Mother Nature to her, and Gothel doesn't want that. She wants to live with humans. She feels like having this role as Mother Nature will be some sort of prison, and her mother is telling her that humans are awful, that humans don't really understand them. Gothel then finds Tilly in Hyperion Heights and reveals to her that she's her mother, and Tilly doesn't know what to think because she's been alone all of her life, and now she's finding this mother all of a sudden, especially knowing that her mother's supposedly part of this cult. Lucy then does a bold move and goes to Samdi, and Samdi's wondering how she broke into his office, and she's like, well, she already broke into his apartment, so that was easy. And Lucy informs Samdi that Weaver double-crossed Ronnie, and that Ronnie hasn't been returning Samdi's calls, and maybe a way for Samdi to get back on Ronnie's good side would to save Henry, impressing her in return. Samdi doesn't look like he wants to at first, but then Lucy brings up the fact that Ronnie won't forgive him if he doesn't help. So, gotta say, I love the blackmail from Lucy. We see Rogers then offers to help Tilly because Tilly mentions how Eloise is her mother, so he offers to help her. we see at the ball, this girl wants to be special like Gothel. Special being that she has magic. And she takes them to I'm going to assume this like garden shed. And it looks like Gothel's going to show everyone magic. And she mentions how nothing from the earth never dies. I'm like, what exactly does that mean, or what is it implying? And then I actually felt really sorry for Gothel in this episode. Not saying something from what we've seen of her, but the girl calls Gothel an abomination and then dumps mud all over her, and this other girl's watching, like, in horror what's happening, because this is just freaking cruel. I mean, what the hell? She just doesn't say anything. And basically the girl tells Gothel, she doesn't belong here. And Gothel then goes back to her home, and it's destroyed, and she sees that the humans are the ones that destroyed her home. So that would explain a lot from Gothel. Henry, we see, is trying to piece together how these characters in his book can possibly relate to him as Rogers and Tilly come in for Henry's help. Henry apparently has different artifacts in the past. We see that he has the swan keychain from Emma. He has this picture of him and Regina from when he was 8, and also has the chipped cup, which apparently page 147 is the story of Rumbell. And I gotta say, I freaking love what Nook said in this episode. He said that biology doesn't mean that they're your mother. And I think that 7 seasons coming, because everybody likes to think that Emma is Henry's mother just because she gave birth to him. But Regina is the one that raised Henry all those years. And I'm sick and tired of people thinking that Emma is his mother. Regina, for always and forever, will be Henry's true mother. We see that Lucy is looking for something that will prove that Henry is her father, because Samdi is enlisting in Lucy's help to find something that can help Henry, something that ties him and Jacinda together, that can help cure his heart. And Lucy ends up finding the rest of the glass slipper, so I thought that was a sweet moment. And apparently there's a t-shirt from Granny's in there. So, yeah, everything seems to be coming together. Let me see my notes here. Yeah, so Rogers and Tilly go to investigate a tip of where the coven is, and the coven, half of the coven takes Tilly down to this place, and the other half takes Nook. And back in the Enchanted Forest, the girl that killed Gothel's family, Gothel's wondering, why did you do this? And she mentions how she thinks her and her kind is an abomination. And we find out that the other girl, who said nothing, by the way, I'm surprised Gothel's not pissed at her, has magic like Gothel, and was afraid to reveal who she really was, because she was afraid that the other people would do the same thing to her what they did to Gothel's family. And I could kind of see that, because some people are truly cruel, as we could see in this episode. So some people are truly afraid of, well, I wouldn't say afraid, they're just ignorant to people that are different, and they can be unbelievably cruel. And Gothel actually gets revenge, because she kills the girl that kills her family, and she also poisons the rest of the ballroom. And Gothel then says to Tilly in Hyperion Heights that she is her mother, and that if she would have known that Tilly had powers all this time, things would have been different. Like, basically, if she knew that she had powers, she wouldn't have abandoned her all those years ago, which I don't believe that for a second, because she needed somebody with blood ties to her to leave the tower, so I don't believe that for a minute. Gothel then says to Tilly that Nook is her father, and I'm not sure. I'd be like all freaking out here after hearing that this cult leader is your mother and that this guy's your father. We see that Gothel and this girl, who's apparently her first follower, go back to their home, and they decide to go to a land of magic to recruit some new followers, new people like them, and they do that with a bean. And the land of fountain magic is apparently Hyperion Heights, and Gothel then pricks Nook's hand, which we saw earlier that she met Margot, and she pricked her hand as well. And apparently she needed the blood of her father, the blood of a new love, and the blood of someone betrayed, I guess, in order to get a spell to work. And she's pressuring Tilly to join the Coven of Eight, saying that if she doesn't, they'll kill her father. And Tilly doesn't want to be responsible for killing her father, so she decides to join the Coven of Eight. And Lucy then brings Sandy the shoe, and we see that he has voodoo dolls of, I believe, of Henry and Jacinda, and he crushes the glass slipper. I guess it is Henry's voodoo doll. He crushes the glass slipper over Henry's voodoo doll, saying that when they kiss, Henry and Jacinda, that they'll be able to pull Henry's heart out. Basically, if you pull Henry's heart out, when Jacinda and Henry kiss, it won't affect Henry. Henry and Jacinda finally kiss, but the curse doesn't break. And I'm wondering what's happening here. Is there another form of true love that's going to break the curse? And also, if they kissed, wouldn't Henry have passed out, because they didn't take Henry's heart out? I mean, I may have misheard what Samdi said, but I thought Henry would have passed out on the floor or something because of his heart. But I gotta say, Ivy's curse must be pretty powerful if true love couldn't break it, but she did say it was hero proof, so maybe this curse needs more than true love's kiss. And we see Tilly's really struggling with her decision to join this coven, because she doesn't want to join. She's being forced into it, and Nook's telling her not to join it, but she doesn't want to be responsible for killing her father, so she decides to join the coven, and the Coven of Eight is then formed, and yeah, there's going to be some kind of war or something. So next week, there's only 3 episodes left until the series finale. Yeah, I'm crying about that. It shows that there's definitely a war coming. Lucy says that, tells Ronnie that they kissed and nothing happened, and it looks like Gothel's gonna potentially go after Henry, and it looks like Henry, adult Henry, makes a phone call, and it's younger Henry, so yeah, I'm wondering what's gonna happen there. And next episode, we know that young Henry will be back, so that'll be interesting. I always loved Jared and Lana scenes. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. So I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's episode of Once Upon a Time. If you guys want to check out Once Upon a Time, it is on Fridays, 8 p.m. on ABC. Until next time, stay regal.